Man, niggas are buzzing, y'all. I want to give a shout out and say cheers to all my subscribers, man. The way y'all be supporting the channel, hey, this one's for y'all. This goes out to y'all. Cheers to everybody. I appreciate it for real. So I've been planning this video for a while. It's called Scream 2022 Drink and Chat. I've been planning this video for a while. As you know, it's called Drink and Chat because I'm going to get a buzz and discuss Scream 2022 with y'all, aka Scream 5. I was originally going to do like separate videos. I was originally going to do like a video about my expectations for the film, top 5 things I want to see, what I think's going to happen, and I decided to just sit down, have a drink, and discuss all this in just one video. And tonight, y'all know what I'm sipping on. Sipping on a little Jim Beam Kentucky bourbon. It is Thirsty Thursday, so you already know, catching a buzz. So as I said before, Scream 5 is one of my highest anticipated movies of next year. It might be my most anticipated movie of 2022. And I want to see more. Like, we've got like a couple set photos. You know, we've got some news in the recent weeks. Evidently, the opening of this film is like 11 minutes long before the title card drops, from pictures that they posted when they were done editing the film. And apparently Ghostface has his own score, which is pretty dope, man. Like, I'd like to hear like a creepy little bit of like a creepy theme before he pops up, so you know he's coming. You know, he's never really had that before. I mean, Dewey always had a theme before Ghostface ever had one. So with the opening being like 11 minutes long, I feel like it's gonna be pretty brutal. I feel like it's gonna be brutal, and I feel like it might be a little shocking. Hopefully a little shocking. That's what I'm hoping. I'm not saying it's gonna be, but that's what I'm hoping, like they did with Drew Barrymore in the original Scream. And I know the title card dropped in Scream right away. It dropped before we saw Drew Barrymore. But I think that would be dope, is to have a crazy like 11-minute opening and then the title card drops. Kind of like, I love this in the fucking Friday the 13th 2009 remake. The opening is like 20 minutes long before the title card drops, and that got me really hyped. Like, that shit got me so pumped in the theater. I was like, fuck yeah, bro. And I love that movie. And as we've been hearing since the beginning, people are saying that maybe Selena Gomez will be the opening kill in this movie, to kind of reminisce on Drew Barrymore getting killed, you know, in the opening of Scream, where she was the biggest star in that movie. And people figure they want to get a big star and offer at the beginning of the movie. Now, there is no proof that Selena Gomez is in this movie, but I wouldn't mind seeing them open this with like a really big pop star or a big actress that we know's not gonna make it past the first 11 minutes. Yes, I just farted. Excuse me, y'all. I couldn't help it. Sometimes niggas gotta fart. Now, I will say this. From what we've all heard, and you guys already know, and I know, that the original cast, like Gail, Dewey, and Sydney, they all take like a back seat in this film, which I'm completely fine with. You know, eventually they gotta pass the torch. You know what I mean? I'd say let's start with a new group of teenagers. Like, as much as I love Sydney, I think it's time to move on to something new. I love Neve Campbell. I think she does a great job as Sydney, but you know, they're getting up there in age, and we've had Sydney for 4 movies now, and I think it's time to pass the torch. And from what I've heard, the passing of the torch will be to Jenna Ortega, who I've only seen in 2 movies. And in one of those movies, she didn't even have any dialogue. She didn't have no lines or anything. She was just sitting in a wheelchair, and that was Iron Man 3. Then I saw her in The Babysitter Killer Queen, and I actually liked her performance in that movie. And I'm interested to see what she can do in Scream 2022, man. Like, I think the girl's got acting chops, and I like how they got her. She's somewhat fresh. She's a fresh actress, you know what I mean? And I've never seen, like, I don't think I've ever seen Melissa Barrera in anything. I've heard she's actually in a lot of stuff right now, but I've never seen her in anything. Um, Now, who I'm really excited to see in this movie is Kyle Gallner. This dude is so underrated, man. Like, he was in Jennifer's Body. He was in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, which sucked, but he was good in it, man. Like, this dude, I love what he can do with, like, his facial expressions and his eyes, man. This dude, his acting through, like, his eyes. I might sound crazy, but his acting through his eyes always got me in everything I've seen him in. Like, I just feel that emotion through his eyes. Now, when it comes to things that I personally want to see, I want some dope-ass chase scenes. Like, I want to see Ghostface chasing people for a while. And from what we've heard, it's got some good chase scenes. There's no proof of that, just some photos and a little bit of footage. But I want a good chase scene, and I want to see Ghostface be like stealthy and quick, but at the same time, Ghostface is kind of clumsy. So I'm sure he's going to get smacked with a couple of doors, or he might fall over some chairs and shit. Time for another shot. Refreshing. As crazy as it sounds, another thing I really want to see in Scream 5 is gutting. You know what I'm saying? As crazy as I sound saying that, people are probably like, what the fuck's wrong with this nigga? This nigga need help. But I want to see some gutting, just kind of like he did to Steve and Casey in Scream. And then I think after that, we didn't get any more until Olivia in Scream 4. Or no, it wasn't Olivia. Was her name Olivia? I'm pretty sure her name was Olivia. Yep, it was Olivia. That's actually one of my favorite kills in the franchise. I mean, Ghostface popped up out the closet, stabbed her in the hand, he kicked her ass, stabbed her multiple times, gutted her, and then, or he pushed her face through a window and then gutted her. I was like, damn. And if anybody else out there is having a drink tonight, let me know down in the comments and let me know what you're drinking. Cheers. Another thing I really want is for the Ghostface mask and the robe to look really good. You can call me crazy, but I personally think they look a little different in each movie. I mean, they basically look the same, but they do change a little bit in each movie. I don't know if it's the material or if it's just the design that changes. And as I've said before, my favorite Ghostface look is how he looks in Scream 3. No matter how bad of a movie Scream 3 is, I thought Ghostface looked the best in that movie. I just thought the mask looked really cool. I thought the robe was on point, and I was just like, damn. And I actually, and this is crazy because I was in 3rd grade, but I actually went and got a replica of the Scream 3 robe and mask. Some of you might disagree with me, but another thing I'd kind of like to see is the death of a legacy character. Not Sydney. I mean, if they kill Sydney off, I hope it's done very well and in a very emotional way. I doubt they will kill Sydney off. From what I've heard, Sydney might be coming back to Woodsboro because the death of Dewey. I could definitely see that happening. And Gail, I love all these characters, but I think one should go just to add a little bit more emotion to this film. Another thing I'd really like to see is like Ghostface talking while he's in the robe and in the mask. Maybe not to the extent of how he was in Scream 3, but like certain scenes in Scream 2 when Sydney's on the phone in the sorority house and she says, why don't you show your face, you fucking coward? And then you hear him in the room, not over the phone, and he's like, my pleasure. Like, dude, I like shit like that. And then at the end, when Mickey is talking to her, and he's all ghost-faced out, and the ghost-faced voice, you're fast, Sid. You really think you could trust your boyfriend? Don't you know history repeats itself? I want to see at least a little bit of that. I don't think they should take it to the extent of Scream 3. Talk about, you're not going anywhere, Sydney. It's time you came to terms with me and with Mother. I also kind of really don't want like huge references to the Stab movies. I mean, I know that's this big thing in the Scream movies, but I think the Stab thing should like take a little step down. Like I think they should be able to mention it, but I don't think it should be kind of like they did in Scream 4. I think they really overdid the whole Stab thing. I think it would be cool if they did mention Stab in Scream 5, but maybe not talk about it too much, and maybe people are like over all of that except for the killer. Maybe the killer is obsessed with these films and he's angry at, you know, his fellow students for whatever reason, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna be Ghostface, fuck these motherfuckers. I just think, you know, mention Stab, but don't show no footage from Stab, and if they do show footage, you know, take it back to like when they would show a little bit in Scream 2. Like, I feel like Scream 3 wasn't, it shouldn't have even been called Scream 3, it should have been called Stab, because that whole thing revolved around Stab. And as much as I love the opening of Scream 4, where they trick us with Stab 5, Stab 6, you know, where they trick us, I love that opening, but I think Stab should take a back seat. I hope this movie has a lot of emotion in it, man. Like, that's the one thing that I really loved about the original Scream. As funny as it was, there was so much emotion in that film. You feel bad and you feel sad when Casey's parents find her hanging from the tree. You feel bad for Casey when she's looking out the back door and she sees her boyfriend Steve being gutted. Like, that movie had a lot of emotion. And I'm not saying all the movies don't have emotion. I'm gonna say Scream 3 though, it was, I didn't feel for any of the characters in that movie at all. Scream 2, when Maureen died and when she got killed in the movie theater, I felt for her. In Scream 4, I felt for Olivia. And then I felt for, you know, Kirby having to see her friend Olivia be killed. Obviously, Jill didn't give a shit because she ended up being the killer. So I hope this movie has a lot of emotion in it. And comedy. You gotta have comedy. And one thing I really would love to see is Matthew Lillard come back as Stu. I mean, it was just the TV, and Matthew Lillard even tweeted that out. But I want to see Stu again. That motherfucker is hilarious. For me personally, Scream is the perfect mixture of crazy murder, humor, and emotion. We got Deputy Judy from Scream 4 coming back, and from what I've heard, she has a son, and I think, from what I've heard, we get references to Randy, which is awesome because I love Jamie Kennedy. And I know they might do away with the whole meta thing because Scream is notorious for all the meta, and I think they're going to switch it up, and I'm excited to see what Radio Silence can do with Scream. You know, rest in peace to Wes Craven, but I'm sure it'll be good. The only thing that worries me is its release date being in January, and usually movies that come out in January suck balls. I hope the practical effects are done right. You know, I hope the kills are violent and emotional. I hope there's like very little CGI, if none at all. And I'm glad Roger Jackson is back as the voice of Ghostface, which I forgot to mention, but nobody else should play that voice. But like I was saying, I really hope the practical effects are good, and I hope that they don't CGI the hell out of anything. I really hope they don't do that. I hope the phone calls between Ghostface and the victims are like intense as hell. Like, I feel like this film could be very intense and extremely screwed up, and I hope the cast does a good job. Like I said, I haven't seen, there's a lot of them I haven't seen in many things other than Kyle Gowner. Jenna Ortega, a few things. Melissa Barrera, never seen her in anything, and I've heard she's in a lot of stuff, but I just haven't had time to check out any of her work. And if they pull some bullshit like that the killer is another brother of Sydney, or if they pull something like Dewey is the mastermind behind everything, I swear I might just punch a fucking baby. I'd really like to see a trilogy of Scream where we don't find out who the killer is until the last film. And I'm not the only person that feels that way. That would be dope as hell. Scream 1, Scream 2, and then top it off where we find out who the killer is. Even if we don't find out who the killer is, I would be satisfied. Because it's time to kind of take a step back from the whole Scooby-Doo unmasking thing. I'm not gonna lie though, I'd probably laugh and shit myself if Ghostface was like, I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids. But shit guys, you already know niggas feeling great right now. I am fucked up. Got one more shot of whiskey in my glass. If y'all drinking, have a sip with me, you know what I'm saying? Cheers to everybody, man. I probably shouldn't be driving, but I have to go get me some beer. You know what I'm saying? I need some beer for the night. I'm gonna make some Boilermakers tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed this video though. I think I'm gonna do a Halloween Kills video like this, but we're gonna have blunts and doobies and bong packs for that one. So I think that one will probably be called Halloween Kills Smoking Chat. You know what I'm saying? Like, so hey, judge me. Fuck it. Let's do our thing, y'all, and say fuck what everybody else says. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Are you ready for Scream 2022, aka Scream 5? You gonna watch it? You excited? Could you care less? Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell. You know what I'm saying? Until next time, guys, coming at you from ADiktion TV.